Hi Virgo, this is going to be your reading for February 2023. The deck that I'm using is the Rider-Waite deck by Pamela Coleman Smith and Arthur Waite. Now the overall energy for the whole month of February for you talks about your inner strength. It talks about you having to draw on this inner strength in the month of February. So there's something that is going to take place in your life that is going to call for you to use that common sense that all Virgos have and to use that wisdom that self-control over your emotions. It does talk about a concern about your body or your physical appearance. It does talk about you needing to draw on your energy, your courage, your determination, and your strength of character. This is going to be a hard battle, but it is one that you can very well win. It does talk about you getting through this instance in your life and maybe even coming with very strong successes in front of you. It talks about physical success. It talks about recovery from illness, vitalism, body movement, yoga, nature, getting involved in an aspect of your life that is going to bring about healing. It also talks about possibly you helping someone else who might be ill. It talks about allowing this person to lean on you for a while, maybe even breaking bad habits in your own life and replacing them with good, or maybe you're helping someone else in your life replace bad habits with good habits. It does talk about paying close attention to diet and exercise. It talks about exploring different wisdoms and traditions. It talks about self-preservation and self-choice. It also talks possibly about holistic medication or maybe even Ayurvedic yoga. But it does talk about turning back to nature to find a source of healing. And that's the focus for the whole month of February 2023 for you. As you move into the first week, it does talk about harmony and balance in your life, both mentally and physically. So in that first week, you're balancing things very well. It talks about you thinking very clearly and forming a plan that is actually easy for you to actualize. Okay, it does talk about this being a turning point in your life, and it's going to move you in a new direction. There's an opportunity coming up here, an opportunity for cooperating with someone on a project. People are on board. People are excited about what you're planning, and they're wanting to get involved. Now, it does talk about possibly you going back to school, or maybe someone in your life changing schools or changing jobs, moving toward a better future, higher education. So perhaps you, Virgo, are going back to school. Maybe you're going to get a bachelor or a master of studies, okay? Now, it also talks about possibly you getting involved in a political school politics, a political social group, but it has to do with politics. It has to do with you vying to make change in this world and to move things forward in your own life and in the lives of other people, perhaps in a school setting, okay, or a political setting. It does talk about a better future coming forward as you're moving into the second week of February 2023. Now, it also talks about maybe someone in your life, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo, that is stepping up to the plate for you. Maybe this person is looking for some new talent, and they're willing to take risks on you as a person, as an individual, as an employee. Or perhaps this is someone that is going to help you in some way go back to school. Maybe this is someone who's going to offer you a loan, or maybe this is someone who's going to step up to the plate and give you a reference. But any way that you look at it, this is positive things that are coming into being as you're moving into the second week. Now, we're moving into the third week, and in that third week, there's a few things that are happening that, you know, you might have to be very clear-headed about, okay? Now, it does talk about attempts to hide bad news, someone dealing with health issues, whether it be you or whether it be someone in your life. It talks about surgery. It talks about having to manage stress and take care of your body. But it does talk about health problems coming in this third week. Something may be in the early stage of development. Perhaps there is a person that is near you that's suffering, but you're not aware of how much they're suffering. That person possibly doesn't talk about their illness because they're so used to it happening, okay? And they don't want to rehash things in their life. They don't want to rehash old memories or old injuries. Now, it does talk about learning to control negative thoughts. attempts to improve a new relationship or an old relationship in your life. It does talk about trying not to get involved in other people's problems, and don't let other people stick their nose into your relationships. Be very careful about gossip mongers. Be careful about picking arguments and someone pressuring you to take sides against another person. So indeed, you got a lot of circumstances that are taking place around you that have to do with different personalities and different relationships in your life, okay? Now, as you're moving into that very last week of February 2023, it does talk about being mindful of potential problems. Possibly, maybe you're working at a height. It does talk about being aware of potential falls, electrical shocks, dramatic events, things happening very, very quickly and very unexpectedly. But there also talks about building tensions, okay? Possibly someone being cut loose from a situation, maybe a change of jobs or perhaps being let go from a job. It does talk about disturbed dreams. It talks about possibly some arguments that are taking place in your environment. And that could even deal with social causes, human actions, protests, family quarrels, maybe even loss of friends, disappointments in school, accidents, illness, or losses of sorts, okay? It can talk about this bringing about a period of depression in your life. Now, it might even talk about an overthrow of a government, oppression, being held back, not being allowed to do something, different rules, things changing that are creating havoc and changes in your environment. However, that overall strength card says that you are going to be able to fight all these battles that you need to fight, whether they be with health, whether they be with school systems or political factions. But it does talk about a big change coming into play in the month of February, and it is going to change things in a very big way. So let's be prepared as we're moving into the month of March from February. Take care, Virgo, and I shall see you in March. Namaste. Bye-bye.